Hey everyone, I'm Armor Gaming, welcome back to my channel and welcome to Monster Legends. Welcome to a video for the Monster Legends El Colosal Metal Breeding Event. This is basically the period where you're going to have 24 hours to pretty much breed any metal monster you want, with the exception of Forsaken monsters and the Metal Warmaster remntar. But other than that, you're able to get the VIP monster, the Nemesis monsters. Everyone is going to be breedable for a 24-hour period. So what I'm going to do in this video is kind of go over all the metal monsters, give you guys my thoughts on who I think is worth it, who I think is not worth it. And I mean, to be honest, it's usually the later monsters that are worth it. But I'll also give you my thoughts. I'm kind of just going to run down from the beginning of Monster Legends to the end of Monster Legends and just kind of go over my thoughts. So I hope you guys enjoy. If you still have any questions after this video on what monster you should go for, honestly, just listen to the end of the video where I'm going to say this is probably the best monster. And when the event does start, I'm also going to be releasing the breedings for every monster, because it takes a while for them to become available, because there are players designated that they take the gems and time to try different breeding combinations, and then they'll release a Google Doc or it'll be released on the official Monster Legends Discord. So just stay tuned for that. For now, we're just going to analyze all the monsters very quickly. So Metalhead, the OG metal monster. Honestly, in my personal opinion, this monster is worth picking up just because he is the start of the legendary metal monsters, right? He is the first one, and he's a really good one at that. I mean, in his era, he was a prime monster. That's a high power stat. That's actually a pretty good speed stat, even for the newer generation of monsters. Metalhead is amazing. He can stun, he can AoE burning, he can do a single possession, he had an extra turn skill. He was like above his times, I would say. I would argue he is better than Metal Beat, the mythic monster. I mean, just kidding, but yeah, I like Metalhead. If anything, I'd collect them just for nostalgic reasons. In terms of actual competitive gameplay, you absolutely do not need Metalhead. Oh, and by the way, any monster that has a heart, like Ultrabot right here, that monster is actually permanently breedable, so you don't need to invest any time into that monster, because they are breedable. Although, you could probably start breeding them early on, or for any future, let's say, for the magic, you can start looking at those breedable monsters. Goldfield Workaholic, Malaire's breedable. Maybe you should start breeding them, because for all you know, those three monsters are used in a combination for a monster you want. So just a little advice for anyone watching this video. With that being said, we also have Timerion. He's also like a staple of Monster Legends. When he came out, he was in the team shop. At one point, he was 800 war coins. Can you believe that? 800 war coins, and he immediately became a meta monster. The first monster to have artifact, the cooldown activation, the cooldown deactivation, the time stop, the skill mirror. Fantastic monster in his time. Unfortunately now, he never gets any usage. None of these other monsters are really that great. This is essentially Magneto, by the way. And that's the Annihilator R2, Dad Unit, General Holter. Actually, I don't even think the Team Shop monsters are breedable. Moving on, let's see, Stinger S1, Super Dan, here's another breedable monster. We have Arcade, Sentinel. This monster, I remember him being released. I believe he had like an extra turn skill. He gives himself like 3 extra turns, but he ends up killing himself. That's what I remember him doing. Ah, the Sentinel, good times. He could also do an AoE possession. We have Roxanne. Oh, by the way, if you have any monster in storage, you should really start hatching them. M2 Waver and Terrorizer, none of these are good. Hercule, this was, if I'm not mistaken, the first team race monster. That being said, he's not worth really getting. But yeah, first team race monster. Here is Uthar. So here's the thing, because he's a VIP monster, he's worth collecting just for collections purposes. He's a VIP monster, he's an exclusive, so you might as well pick him up just for that. Hackster, oh my goodness, Hackster. I remember when this monster came out, he was also a go-to monster, go-to denier. He has corruption. He could essentially, it used to be called hack. He could essentially hack any monster that was immune to possession, because he had an exclusive possession. Right now it's called corruption. So he had an AoE corruption, or AoE hack at that time. He has an AoE stun, he has a single time stop. He was like a master of denial. The bad thing about this monster is his traits. For those of you newer players, you'll be like, immune to magnetized. What the heck is magnetized? Basically, it just makes him more vulnerable to metal-based attacks. Terrible trait. He might as well not have a trait. But in terms of denial, he was the go-to. I love this little hamster. Alright, let's see. Gangster Swords doesn't matter. Oh my gosh! For those of you that are pretty satisfied in the game and have everything you need, this is the monster you want for gold collection. Take a look at every other monster I'm going to go through. 305. 305. All the OGs have like pretty good collection. 155. 305. 305. Let's go to Dad Unit. 244. After a while, 244. A lot of the legendary monsters became 244 on their gold collection. 244. Jakugan, 244. Captain Copperbeard, 244. But this monster right here, 335 gold. So if you want a gold collector, if you want a gold slave, this is your gold slave right here. Master of Gold Collection. Alright, Jakugan is another beatable monster, so you don't need to invest in her, but she's a pretty good monster. Let's see, Ceratomatronicus, Tankirion. Tankirion, I actually like Tankirion. I can't believe I still don't have him. I might just go for a lot of these monsters I'm missing. Flamirion, 2 more artifact monsters. I remember when they were introduced into the game. This guy's like a master of healing. His ultimate has a chance to kill you. If you've ever played in the Nemesis Survival Dungeon and Tankirion ults you and kills your monsters and you can't even resurrect them, it's the worst thing ever. In terms of competitive gameplay, let me just say, in case I've been like flip-flopping, none of the monsters previously mentioned are really actually worth it, other than for like collection purposes or for nostalgic reasons. This includes Flamirion, this includes Tankirion. Realistically, they are not as usable as a lot of the newer monsters. Let's see, Azuriel, Scrap Warrior, another team race monster, fantastic monster, really, really good at killing any metal monsters. Basically, this monster has a skill called Moonshine Bottle that cleanses negative effects, gives them an extra turn, and gives them Mechanical Hater. So any other monster that's in the Mechanical book, Scrap Warrior could decimate them. So he's quite powerful. He can also apply Total Blind, which reduces enemy accuracy by 100%. He has a spammable single Total Blind skill, so he's someone I've actually found myself using in a Team Wars against Cyberel and taking her down, or at the very least Total Blinding. So I like him, but he's really not usable again. Holter's Bodyguard is not what we're talking about. Voidtag, here is Talos. He is actually the free-to-play Nemesis monster. Soldier Point actually made Talos, all 3 variations, available to free-to-play players, assuming they could beat the dungeons at the time. So that being said, he's not really worth investing in, I would say, other than, of course, he's a Nemesis. He's worth collecting for that alone. Maybe he can help you beat Nemesis Survival Dungeon. I don't know. Let's see. We have Quixote. This guy came out when Rossi God came out. They were supposed to be a duo, but didn't really work out because Rossi God, they ended up changing his skill to where he removes positive effects. Because basically, Quixote has a skill that gives him triple damage, but he may get possessed. It's like a 50 chance to get possessed. So then the combo was that Rossi God was supposed to give him a turn transfer and get rid of the possession in case he got possessed. But then they ended up also, like, because before Rossi God didn't use to remove positive effects, but then they changed it so it does remove it, so then he would lose the triple damage, so it would be pointless. But just wanted to throw that out there. Let's see, Scaro's not worth it. Baroness, another team race monster. Patient Cyber, another team race monster. Patient Cyber's pretty cool. He can activate cooldowns, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, also has Total Blind. I remember Nanovirus and cooldown activation, but not really worth it. There is our buddy, Warmaster remntar. Alright, we have Makugan. This one's awesome. Immunity to Possession and Immunity to Stun. So it's like Mountain, but instead of Freeze immunity, you have Possession immunity. Jakugan's a great monster, but I don't think really worth investing in. We have Wang. Wang Zhou's actually really good. He's the only monster that starts the game off with removing 50% of stamina from the enemies. In an era where mythic monsters have like 280 stamina, this could be really good. Imagine having 2 of them and immediately the enemy has 100% stamina drain. That's pretty cool. And his skill set is also really good. He's actually, in terms of metal monsters, he's actually definitely on the competitive end. So if you wanted to pick up a competitive metal monster, he's definitely one I would recommend. Hopkin, I like Hopkin. He's pretty usable and very versatile as a support metal monster. But to be completely honest, you probably wouldn't use him too much. Myrak, another team race monster. And I mean, I think everyone knows this monster. One of the best, can remove positive effects and apply Total Blind. Can apply a random control skill to the enemy. Can like First Law Transgression make you immune to control skills and immunity to torture or something like that. A fantastic monster. We have our elite metal monster. This monster has Pierce. Pierce basically ignores effects, positive effects such as evasion, mirror, shields, taunts, mega taunts. So this monster can basically attack whoever. But you really have to rank this monster up to make it more usable. So not really worth investing in. Positron. Actually, off the top of my head, I don't even know what this monster does. Return to Beta Particle, gives 100% of stamina to all allies, heals all allies by 100%, restores all cooldowns. Looks like a pretty good alt. I honestly do not remember this monster. I know he came out during the time when Social Point just kept releasing monster, and it was like so much. It was so much. And then the last legendary, you can't get Santerion, unfortunately. If Santerion was available, I'd say 100% go for him. But last is Synapticus. And in terms of a metal monster, he's just a super fast, look at that, 3553. Super fast metal monster with AoE freeze. So that's cool because not a lot of metal monsters are immune to freeze. I mean, we just talked about Makugan over here, who's immune to everything but freeze. So he's pretty good. But that being said, like, with the current monsters that are out in the game, the current metal monsters and mechanical mythics, honestly, it's funny. Like, no metal monster is actually worth going for. That's weird, right? So that's very weird. At least other elements had like some pretty good monsters that I could still recommend and like not feel bad. But for metal, there's no one that really stands out. I guess Myrak, I should also mention, has a random protection at the start of the battle that could really help you out. Maybe it's evasion, maybe it's some other protection. Of all these monsters, the top monsters I would say are definitely Wang and Myrak in terms of the basic monsters. Synapticus again is fast and has freeze, but I don't know if I could really recommend. To be honest, I haven't had too much experience with him, and I have a lot of Synapticuses, but I don't know. Positron, I think he relies on possession and stuff. You'd have to check out my video. One thing I would say is probably also go for the books. Like, if you see Positron and the books he's in, if there's any certain monster you need to complete a chapter, that's probably what you should do more than anything. Legendary and metal. But yeah, like, there's not really any standout metal legendary monster, I would say. So just, this is one of those times when you could go for whoever you really want. Like, more than anything, above all else, if there's a monster that you really want, if it's your favorite monster, who cares whether it's competitive or not? Just go for that monster. To be honest, like, we're in an era of mythics where mythics will dominate the game. Look at all these metal monsters that are, like, top tiers. So don't worry so much about the metal monsters. The metal legendaries. Get whoever you want, get whoever your heart wants. In terms of what I would recommend for competitive, and again, like, to an extent, doesn't matter. Myrak is fantastic. Wang is fantastic. Makugan is a fantastic attacker. And then I'm assuming Posy and Synapticus are actually pretty good. But yeah, it might be smarter just to go for Zizzy because it's an elite monster. That way you don't need to waste your elite souls. You could also just go for Talos because it's a nemesis monster, and of course pick up the VIP monster as well. And you do have your ultimate gold production monster as well. So with that being said, this has been an analysis on all the metal monsters. Hopefully this video was somewhat helpful. If you guys enjoyed it, let me know in the comments below. If you have any other thoughts, if you have a specific metal monster you recommend, also let me know in the comments below. With that being said, best of luck to all of you on the Metal El Colosal breeding event, and remember to subscribe.